Welcome back to Back in Action. Today is the fun part where we actually get to go through some stretches and some exercises for some back pain relief or even some injury and pain prevention. And as a reminder, these exercises aren't meant to replace medical care if you need it. And if you're not sure if you need medical care or not, it'd be a great time to go back to part 2 of this series where I talk about when it's important to go seek medical care for lower back pain. So another important disclaimer is that these exercises should not be painful or really uncomfortable at all. If you are experiencing pain, especially if it's like sharp, of shooting, something of that variety, back off on those stretches, discontinue the exercise if you need to, okay? So the first part of this series is I'm going to talk about strengthening the core. The core is really important for the stability of the lower back. If your core muscles can engage and stabilize your spine, your lower back is going to take on a lot more stress than it needs to in your everyday life when you're just like lifting things or even when you're sitting down. So it's really important to have a strong, stable core. So we're going to start with a few exercises there. So let's go ahead and get into a tabletop position where I'm going to be on my knees and I'm going to put my hands down on the ground with a nice flat back here. Okay, it's important that you're not rounded in either direction. We're going to stay nice and flat and nice and stable through the spine. Okay, so the first exercise is called a bird dog. We're going to raise one arm and the opposite leg at the same time. Again, it's really important here that you don't round through the spine in either direction. We want a nice flat back, a nice pause, and then come back to center. Now, if that's really challenging for you, especially if you can't maintain that lower back flattened position, what I'm going to have you do is actually start with just one limb at a time. Let's go keep that core nice and tight. Think about squeezing your belly button to your spine, and let's raise one limb at a time. Let's go arm, leg, keeping that nice flat back, leg, keeping that nice flat back. And then maybe let's, try that for a few sessions, a few days in a row. And when you feel comfortable, let's try opposite arm, opposite leg, lifting at the same time. Nice hold. Think about holding that belly button to the spine. And then come back to center. Opposite, hold, nice pause, belly button to spine, come back to center. That's the bird dog exercise. Okay. And then the second we're going to go through is my favorite, I think the best bang for your butt core exercise that exists in the whole world. And that's called the dead bug exercise. Okay. So we're actually going to do essentially the opposite. We're going to lay on our back with our arms and legs up in the air like such. The same thing applies. I want a flat back pressed against the floor. I don't want round in either direction. I want nice and flat, and then you can rest your head down on the ground. Use a pillow if you need to. Okay. Arms and legs up. Same thing applies. Let's press our belly button into the floor, and then let's extend a limb. Okay. Keep that belly button pressed on the floor. Don't round through the back. Nice and pressed. Come back to center. Extend the limb. Back to center. Let's do an arm. Back to center. Other arm. Back to center. Whole time I'm pressing that belly button into the spine, into the floor, and I'm keeping that whole lower back pressed against the floor. Now, if that felt great, let's go ahead and try the same thing and go opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm going to think right arm, left leg. This might take a little bit of time to get your brain used to moving opposite limbs at the same time. Extend all the way out, and then come back to center. Extend all the way out, and come back to the center. And the whole time I'm thinking belly button to spine, back flat on the ground. If you experience any discomfort during that exercise, go ahead and back off on it and try one limb at a time. And if that doesn't work, maybe start with some of the stretches that we'll go through later. Okay, let me know how that goes. Thanks.